My soul is tormented by a succubus. Call assist, pencil dripping from the way I spit. Fell in love with this, sis got music, now she in my grips. Wanna take a sip of her only signs as six. No questions asked, always late. Only smash, trying up my sis got team. Get a foot off in your ass.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's me, Mr. Fine here, and I'm feeling a bit sick today, but I decided to go ahead and make a tutorial anyway. So in this video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be remaking the first dash tutorial we had, except this one's going to be different and better, and I'm going to be covering two types of dashing, where one is just a keybind and then another one is a double tap, and I'll be explaining how it works. So yeah, so to get started, what we need is something to handle player input, and this can be easily done by putting a local script into starter character scripts. Now the reason I put it in starter character scripts is because everything in here is reparented, cloned and reparented into the character when they spawn, meaning they get a new copy every time, which is really good because what we're doing is we need the character in order to apply velocity, right? So to start off, let's go ahead and just name this dash, right? So we're going to go ahead and put down the services we need. Now this dash is going to be completely client-sided, alright, but if you are using something like stamina or something else, you can go ahead and fire server using a remote event and do it there. But because I don't have any stamina or nothing like that, I'm going to be doing it on the client, and it's actually not that difficult to do it on the server. I'll show you what to do. So first we need user input service. Now let's just say let's do the keybind one. Alright, we're also going to be including an animation, so I'm going to go ahead and make a animation. So let me go ahead and do that. Let's get one of these. Alright, so I'll show you how to play an animation with the dash as well, because a couple people have been like having trouble. So yeah, going to have to select this new animation. So you don't have to use this animation editor. It's just, I'm doing this just to create one, but I'm assuming that you guys already have the animation ready. So let's call this dash, confirm, grab the dummy. So let's do something simple because this is a scripting tutorial. So we're just going to make the dummy go something like this. Alright, now obviously your animation is probably going to be much more detailed, right? Because this one's going to be fairly rushed. And let's make the arms just out a bit, and something like that should suffice. Now obviously it looks a little weird. I'm going to make the animation style to something like cubic, so it's like that. Alright, so with that, I'm going to export it, save to Roblox, and then going to save it in my animations. I'm going to call this dash. So what you want to do is grab this ID right here, grab this number. Now if you don't have this number, you can retrieve the number by going to the Roblox website and then going to where you uploaded, and then you can go here to animations, and once you press animations, what's going to happen is it's going to show a list of your animations, and then you'll see the animation right here, and then this here is the number. So this right here, all you gotta do is copy that number, right? So once you do that, yep, we can leave. Once you do that, you can put the animation where you want to. Now in this case, I'm going to keep it in replicated storage. Now usually what people do is they have a folder called animations, and then they put a animation in there, right? And we're going to put that there, and we're going to call this dash. So let's go ahead and put the player service, right? Because we want the character. Now the character can also be retrieved by doing local character equals script.parent, and then local humanoid equals character wait for child humanoid. Now like so, And then what we can do is load in the dash animation right off the bat. So local dash equals, so we actually need replicated storage. Replicated storage, because game get service replicated storage dash equals humanoid load animation. So by doing this, you can then do replicated storage animations dot dash. So like so, this is your loaded animation, and to play it, all you have to do is dash play. We're going to put it under a dash. So user input service dot input began connect function. All right. So we're going to have input and input game processed event. All right. So let's go ahead and put down a couple settings that we want. So local properties. Let's make a table called properties. Now, some of you guys have been coming to me in my Discord DMs talking about how scripts don't work, and then I've been checking into your places, and the issues were that you guys weren't spelling the words correctly. So do make sure that they are spelled correctly. Like, if you need, pause the video. Obviously, from now on, I'm putting all the scripts I make into a paste bin, so you guys can have a direct copy in case you guys want that. So let's go ahead and continue. So what you need is a velocity. So let's put something like 50, all right? So this represents 50 studs per second. All right, let's have a duration. So how long does this dash last for? So let's say 1 second. All right, so these are things you can change later. All right, and then what you're going to do is add a keybind. All right, keybind enum.keycode dot, and then after this point, you just put in what you want. So let's say we want the dash to be F, all right? Or if you wanted the space bar, you could do like space, as you can see there, right? So you just gotta, try to type a few things in, see what you want, but we're gonna go with F. So this is the first type of dash, which is just input. And then let's have a last dash variable called tick. All right, so we're going to use tick as a cooldown to measure the cooldown, and we're also gonna have a cooldown. Let's have a cooldown of 2, right? So what tick is, if you guys don't know, is you can think, to simplify it, you can think of it as time in seconds, all right? After a certain, so I'm pretty sure it's like January something, but tick represents the seconds from that time, right? So you can think of it as simply as seconds, right, in current time. So what you can do is you can go down here and start by doing if input.keycode equals properties.keybind then. So if it's equal to F, right? So this is where we do the cooldown. So if tick, so if the current time right now minus properties.last dash, so subtracted by the last time we dashed, is bigger or equal to properties.cooldown. So if it's the difference is bigger or equal to the cooldown, then we're gonna execute some code. So how this works is tick, every time you do this, it's different because time is always running, right? So it's good for variables. So like so, you can then go ahead and do, let's see. So I guess this is where you play the dash. All right, let's play the dash. One more thing, properties.last dash, make sure to set it to tick again so that the last dash is now, and then later on we can do it again. All right, so local body velocity equals instance.new body velocity. Body velocity dot max force equals vector3.new. So 111 times 50,000. Yeah, that should be good enough. The reason we do 50,000, actually 500,000 would be fine, but the reason we do this and not math.huge is because if you do math.huge, the velocity would be so great that if you were to dash into a wall, you would fling. So games with dashing that flings you, usually they have maxed out max force, which is why that happens. So if you want something like that, go ahead and type in math.huge. All right. or just keep it at something like 500,000. So the velocity is going to be equal to the character dot humanoid root part dot cframe dot look vector times properties dot velocity, and then lastly we parent it to the character humanoid root part, and then we just destroy it after a certain amount of seconds. We can put a weight here, so weight properties dot duration body velocity destroy, like that. Let's go ahead and test this out. So our keybind is F. Alright, so as you can see, I press F, right, and then I dash, and the animation is not playing because I just noticed the animation is for R6, not R15. So I want to see the animation work, so let's go ahead and change it to R6. Yep. Alright, this way we can see the animation play. But you can see that, so you can see it plays the animation, and then I dash, but there's a cooldown, so I'm pressing F, right? So you see the dash animation does work. Now then you can add a bunch of effects and stuff like shockwaves, but then that would require you to fire server. So this is the dashing for the keybind. Now if you wanted to do double tap, so let's say double tap W to dash forward, right? What you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and duplicate the script. Now I'm going to keep this disabled so we can edit the new one. So this is called dash 2. Alright, so in here what we're going to do is we're going to edit a few things. So for example, we're going to remove keybind, and what you want to do is basically create a last so for every button you want to create a variable, so using tick. So last W equals tick, okay? And then you also need a tap speed. So how fast do you have to tap? So I can tap W twice within 0.3 seconds to dash. So for every single one you want, just make sure to go ahead and put something like that down. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this, right? So if input.keycode equals enum.keycode.w then, right? So I'm going to copy this line, put it on top because we want to check the cooldown first this time, right? Before registering anything. Let's go ahead and remove that. So if what we press is W, right? And then if tick, so if the current time minus properties of last W is smaller or equal to properties dot tap speed, then so if we're tapping this and it's between the speed of 0.3, right, then what we want to do is we basically want to dash here. So in here we want to dash, right, and you can copy this section can be copied into here, and then your last dash also needs to go in here because that's when you actually dash. And then every time you press W though, all you have to do is properties.last W equals last W equals tick. So we check if you tap W twice, we set the dash, if it is, then we set the dashing to tick, right? And then what happens is it plays the dash, right? It dashes, and then it resets. So every time, regardless if the last W was between 0.3 or not, we have to reset it to 0.3. This way it constantly updates when we actually press W. Let's go ahead and test this out. So I'm going to tap W, nothing happens. W twice, as you can see, it's a dashing now. Now obviously you can change the properties if you don't like it. For example, I want to change the duration to 0.2, the cooldown to 1, something like that. Just go ahead and try that. So that's how you do double tap. All right, it's not very different. You just need a little. Oh, okay, the dash is really tiny now, but I guess some of you guys might want that. All right. So this is dash 2. I'll put both of these in the description below. Now, what if you wanted to do S and A and D? Now, you would need to create a last s equals tick. Again, following this format. So what you want to do now is else if input.keycode equals enum.keycode.sn. So basically from now on, all you're doing is stacking onto this if statement, because you can only be pressing one button. This only accepts one input, right? So if tick minus properties. So basically you're just copying this now. From now on, you're just copying this chunk of code, but you're making sure last W is changed to last S. Right, last W, let's go ahead and remove that, last S. So just make sure these are last S, last dash is tick, dash play. Now what you want to do is go here and put negative velocities, because this one's backwards, right? And you might have a different animation for it, and I'll teach you guys how to do that as well. So let's go double tap W, double tap S. So as you can see, I do move further away, and then I can dash forward as well, right? So if you wanted to play a different animation, all you have to do, right, is add more animations into the animations folder, and then name them differently. So one can be called forward dash, and one can be backward dash, and all you have to do is list the animations right here, right? So you're just copy pasting this code. So say I had a backward dash, all right, backward dash, right? Then what you would do is just make sure this right here is the same name as the one in there. So if you have a backward dash, put backward dash in there, and then over here when you do the S, you can change the dash to backward dash and play that. But I'm not going to be making an animation for each of them. I'm just going to be showing you guys what to do. So what if you wanted a one for A? So enum.keycode.a, right? So again, add it, last A equals tick, copy this chunk of code, and all you have to do is change the direction of the dash, and as well as these. So last A, I want to make sure last S is last A now, right? And then instead of look vector, I'm pretty sure it's right vector, left vector, right? Let's go ahead and do that. Make sure you remove the negative right there. Wait properties dot duration body velocity destroy. So left vector, let's go ahead and try that. Right, A. Okay, it didn't work. Yeah, left vector isn't right. I think it's right vector. So right vector. Now if it's right vector, then we want to negative the velocity because we want to go left, not right. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so there you go, it works. Now obviously it looks kind of weird with the animation, but I'm going to be assuming you guys will be, you know, doing the animation part. Alright, and lastly, let's do D. Last D equals tick. And put in an else if in here, input.keycode equals enum.keycode.d. Then again, copy the chunk of code, put it in here, last D, right, like so, and then just remove the negative here and it'll go in the right direction. So this is pretty much it. Now again, if you want to change the animation, make sure you list it up here, and then make sure you play it using the correct name. So let's go ahead and test out D, right? And I'm going to be doing a bonus for you guys just because why not? So as you can see, D, W, S works, A works. So I'm going to be doing a bonus for you guys. Let's do double jump as well. So last space equals tick. So let's do double jump. All right, so else if input.keycode equals enum.keycode.space then. So let's go ahead and put this in here, right? So last D is now last space. All right, just make sure that's it. All right, this is a bonus. I did not plan doing this, but why not? Change this to up vector and boom, double jump is done. It's that simple. So I'm just going to give you guys that. So as you can see, right, I tap space twice really quickly, I double jump, and then I can dash forward, backward, left, right. So that's pretty much it. Now what would happen if you wanted a remote event and you wanted to show shockwaves or stamina reduction. So what you would do is in here, right? So there's two ways of doing this. One, you can use a remote event. Two, you can use a remote function. So what you would do for a remote function is right here, you would go ahead and invoke the remote function to the server and make sure you return true or false so the client knows what's happening. But on the server, what you would do is reduce stamina, check stamina, and if you have enough stamina and you reduce the stamina, return true. This way the client executes the dash, right? And then if false, then just don't do anything. And that's pretty much it. Remote event, you just fire it to the server, right? And then you can just do this on the server if you want. You can definitely create the velocity. All right, and that's pretty much it. So again, I've been looking at comments for suggestions. I definitely been reading them because this was one of the suggestions. So I'll go ahead and put this into a paste bin and get it ready for you guys. All right, so I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to comment down below some more suggestions. I definitely will take a look. And yeah,